Oh, I think we're live.
Oh,
Goodness
yes, we
gracious.
are.
I have no idea how many people are going to watch or tune in. It could just be you and I talking about stuff.
Which is fine by me.
Yeah,
Who are you, by the way? I have no
that's
idea
right.
who
Yes,
you are.
Tricycle. So, code name Tricycle. By the way, before we
excellent.
get started, let's just do some quick intros. Hi, everyone. This is your lovable host, Danny K, otherwise known as Sonic Flare, or in this video, codename Tricycle, which will
Love
come
it.
to bear throughout this discussion with my very dear friend, Mark Ward, who's graciously enough joined me on this live stream for James Bond soundtracks, which I feel are the pinnacle of all movie soundtracks, bar none, and certainly the iconic name, the iconic character that Ian Fleming, of course, developed, is just something that's been with us since 1963. Excuse me, Dr. No. Yep. And so, anyway, Mark, great seeing you.
Great seeing you. And I just have to comment for a moment here on the difference in our levels of sartorial elegance.
Well, I figured, these things are gathering dust. I'm living in rural countryside Maine. There's a bunch of cow fields and sheep down the street.
Wonderful.
They're going to be like, who's this guy? Why is he dressed up?
No, and I knew you were going to dress up, and I believe you've got a martini.
Oh, yes. My dear friend, cheers to you. Yes.
I've just got a little bit of wine.
Oh, it's all good. Hey, you know what? Cheers to Ian Fleming.
Oh, yes.
Cheers to the Broccoli family for bringing James Bond to life on the silver screen. Cheers to the 5 actors that have played James Bond through today, basically. There's a 6th one in the wing.
Who knows?
Of course, we all know Amazon bought the James Bond franchise from MGM. So we'll see what happens. But, there we go. Mike, cheers to you, my friend. We have the first. First
wonderful.
Yes.
Hey, it's Jazz Bums Mike. Cheers.
So
I just wanted to comment on the difference in dress. I feel like you may be channeling Roger Moore a little bit more than Sean Connery, because he used to wear the wide tie and everything. I am James Bond, having survived thousands of attempts on his life. I am now in retirement. I'm gray-haired. I never put on a tux. I wear T-shirts. I'm wearing sandals because I'm in LA. And I don't drink anything stronger than a glass of wine. So, except when I'm at the Sean Connery AFI Lifetime Achievement Award, which I will come to later. Yes.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear all about that. Prepping for the show, I know that you have some very interesting experiences, let's call it that you can share. You're certainly, as I've come to realize, look, funny thing is, I always thought of myself as, man, I know James Bond better than anyone.
Oh,
and then,
you
of
do.
course, I run into Mark Ward. Have you ever heard of Mark Ward? Yeah. So he's this fellow that writes for Tracking Angle. Every review of his is a thesis statement.
They're getting longer and longer. I think I've been infected by Wagner. It's just not good.
And I love reading every single one of them.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
I really do. I don't know how you do it. Just exquisite.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm a big fan of your channel. And I'm really a fan of this new thing you're doing where you're live streaming.
Yes.
And I sampled this last one and I'm going to go back into it and play it from beginning to end. It is just the coolest thing and people need to check this out. And I hope you're going to do lots more.
Every week, one show a week. Yeah.
Fabulous. Yep. It's so cool because the sound is awesome. You found a way to do it so it comes into the feed and
correct. Yes. So you're hearing literally the line out feed off the phono stage, and
It's amazing.
you're able to enjoy the music minus the YouTube compression that it applies, obviously, but you're able to enjoy it in full stereophonic glory. And I had a couple of buddies watch the stream live, and two of them had it connected directly to their hi-fi.
Oh, that's great.
And they were like, wow, I had no idea that this can sound so good. So I think I'm onto something. I think
I've never seen anything like it. And I actually really dig kind of the slightly surreal quality of this figure coming in.
Yes.
And then the picture sort of changing. And when you've got some other graphics going on.
Yep.
And trust you to be the person who figures this out. But also the music choices are so cool and interesting. And I love that you went into the easy. I mean, you started with Roy Budd. I've got some Roy Budd here.
Of course.
One of the great guys in this genre we're talking about. And you played Roy Budd, a record that I've never even seen. So I've got to find that one.
The Internecine Project.
Oh, so
the
cool.
Great James Coburn. Talking about, well, I guess it's not really a spoof, like, because he did James Coburn, of course, the great actor that he was. He did what was it, 2 or 3 of the
two.
Palm
Flint in like Flint with
that's
Jerry
right.
Goldsmith.
Yes,
scores.
That's right. Which are of course absolutely fabulous. Yeah, and they're such a caricature of James Bond with all his women on his side, and all of the isms are plentiful.
It's a whole thing, isn't it? You know, to what extent did Bond at a certain point, was it parodying itself or parodying the people who were parodying Bond? Having just written about Moonraker, everyone go to the article in Tracking Angle from a couple of days ago, which in many ways is probably the biggest parody of Bond there is. You sort of find yourself wondering that with all these movies and TV shows that came out.
And let's not forget Peter Sellers, the great Peter Sellers with Casino Royale, right?
Woody Allen,
David Niven. I mean, hilarious, you know.
But I have to say, the theme song from that, Casino Royale, which was Herb Albert and Burt Bacharach, is just one of my favorite pieces ever. I can't go for like 6 months without listening to that. And I went to see Herb Albert recently live.
No way!
With the Tijuana Brass. I wrote about it on. I'm writing for this other new website called Groovy Music Club, which is kind of different from Tracking Angle, but complementary. Okay. And I wrote a whole piece about it. But that Casino Royale track is a favorite of mine. It's brilliant.
I'm going to have to check that out. But first, speaking of music, you can't start a James Bond conversation and discussion without the following. I mean, it's just impossible. Cue.
Most excellent.
And we're going to cut it out because YouTube is going to price out.
And that is that's when John Barry decided in the Roger Moore years that the lighter tone, he was going to use strings to play the theme. But one of my many stories is I went to this fantastic evening at the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, and it was a tribute to Bond. Mm-hmm. And they had John Burlingham there, who is the expert on John Burlingham, and he wrote this book, which is up here, called The Music of James Bond. And he hosted the thing, and guess who came out and played the theme? Vic Flick.
No way.
He came out and played it, and you can go on YouTube and see it. And he played it on the same guitar.
That's hilarious.
And the thing is, what people don't realize, it's not an electric guitar. It's actually a regular acoustic. Oh, well, I'm not an expert, but it's. I think it's an acoustic guitar that he gizmoed up in a certain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Gosh.
Yeah, it's really. And so he played. It was fantastic. So there's one of the stories right there.
Oh, I love it. You know, why don't we get started at the beginning? 2 million years ago. Just kidding. How did you get into James Bond, Mark?
Like many, many guys, going to see one of the films with my dad. And back in those days, you know, this was because I am ancient. I am more ancient than
you don't look
Danny.
At 8 past 49. Come on.
Oh, come on. Oh, you're so sweet. But anyway, yeah. So my dad, who was an avid Bond person.
Okay.
He was not a big reader. He was actually an action man himself. He was, and you don't know this, Danny. He worked as a surgeon in the East End of London, but in his other life, he was one of the foremost mountaineer explorers of the world.
Wow.
And was actually responsible for finding the route for Everest from the south in 1951. He went on the expedition in 51. And in 1953, he was on the first ascent. He was the medical officer.
Holy cow. That's insane.
But that's a whole other series of stories. But he was not a big reader. But on his nightstand, he always had Bond books. And he had these beautiful pan paperback editions. And these books would go with him to the Himalayas. They'd gone to the Himalayas, to the Alps, over and over and over again. So amazing. At a certain point, he wanted to take me to see Bond. And I had not read any of the books. And in those days, no video or anything. This is the late 60s. I was about 8, I think, 68. And we had these first run theaters, which would play movies after they'd been out. And the Hammersmith Odeon, famous venue, which was where Bowie did Ziggy Stardust and just many great rock concerts. We went to see You Only Live Twice. And I was hooked. And then we went to see Diamonds Are Forever when it came out. And then pretty much every subsequent movie as it came out, it was a dad-son thing. And then as I wrote in one of my articles, there's a whole bunch of articles on Triangle about this stuff.
Yes. I actually linked a couple into the stream. So if you guys are watching, click on the description box and you'll see the very last article that Mark wrote about Moonraker. So
thank you.
Of course.
And then, of course, in England, there was this custom of the Bond film on Christmas Day. So always my poor mother, she would go on, she'd say, oh, those bloody mountains and the bloody James Bond. So we would watch Bond. And that was one of the few things that we really bonded about, so to speak. And it was just great. And I was into the music immediately. But we'll stop me there. Let's hear about how you got into it.
You know, I was just gonna say, I mean, it's really parroting much of what you said, except in my case, it was my brother who got me hooked on James Bond. And it's funny that you mentioned it's escaping me right now, the title, Sean Connery, the helicopter.
That's You Only Live Twice.
Yes, You Only Live Twice.
Little Nelly is the name of it.
Little Nelly. That's right. With yes, of course. I remember my brother. So my brother's 10 years older than me. And this was in the late 70s, I want to say. He had a movie night with his friends. And this is in Austria, of course. And he had a movie night with his friends. And they were watching Little Nelly, Sean Connery. And all I remember is the opening scene where the spaceship opens up.
Yes.
And swallows the American, or no, the Russian. It was the Russian capsule, I think.
I can't remember which one gets swallowed first. I think
first. Yes. Yeah. Maybe it was the Russian. He swallows one of each.
Yes,
that's right. Pac-Man. And all I remember was, holy crap, this is insane. Is this real?
Yes.
And
of course, it is one of the most famous of the Bond Barry music cues, Space March, which has been sampled many times by other artists. We'll get to that at the end of this conversation.
So that was my first glimpse of Bond, and then my very first movie experience of Bond was my brother and his girlfriend at the time snuck me into Octopussy. You had to be.
And there are several different ways you could view that sentence.
That's right. Yeah. And so you had to be 16 at the time in Austria to see Octopussy or to see James Bond movies. And Octopussy was 82, 83, I think, 83.
It's around that time.
Yeah. I was 12. And I got to see Octopussy, and I was like, oh my God, this is insane. The little jet plane in the beginning scene.
Oh, that's a great sequence.
Yes. And I've always, funny because you mentioned when we started chatting, my sartorial outfit mimicking that more of Roger Moore. I'm a big Roger Moore diehard Bond fan. I love Sean Connery. I love
good
Sean
for you.
Connery. Yes, but Roger Moore had that nonchalant.
Oh yes.
Just way of him. He wasn't even acting. I mean, it was Roger Moore, for crying out loud.
Kind of was. Yeah.
Just his little mannerisms and how he looked at the camera and how he looked at women and the toys he had. I mean, Roger Moore, to me, yes, he was the gimmick Bond. People call him the gimmick Bond because, of course, as Sean Connery faded out and Roger Moore came in, the Bond movies got more crazy and crazy. And, of course, culminating in Moonraker, which came out just as Star Wars came out, of course, the year before, 77. So, Roger Moore to me is James Bond. With all his, all his mannerisms and all his things. To me, that's James Bond. Obviously, Sean Connery plays James Bond much different. I always felt like Daniel Craig very much obviously mimicked or not so much mimicked, I guess, but definitely imparted his own Connery style onto the Bond movies. And
also actually Dalton, because Dalton made a point of going back to the books and really trying to get back to the main character.
Yes.
So it's very much in that mold.
Yep. Yeah. And by the way, we have a great comment here. Of course, James Bond, Roger Moore, The Saint.
The Saint, which I grew up watching on TV.
Absolutely. The Saint and the First Raiders with Tony Curtis, right?
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a moment.
Yes, of course. By the way, I saw this comment earlier. Did Radiohead ever do a Bond?
Yes. And
they did, didn't they?
They did. I don't know whether it was finally recorded, but it was for Spectre, and it's never been released. And don't get me started about the theme song for Spectre, which is so wrong.
Yes. Oh yeah,
it is so wrong.
Yes.
And I don't know what they were thinking. It's just I don't even know where to begin. I'm actually one of those people who loves Spectre. I think it kind of falls apart in the last third.
Yes.
But the first 2/3 and the first half in particular are absolutely fantastic. And it does have maybe the best photography. Van Hoytema.
Agreed.
Although Roger Deakins in Skyfall is pretty amazing, and Freddie Young in You Only Live Twice. But I think it's Spectre, but I don't know if I've never seen it anywhere. So who knows? Can you imagine?
I know. Cool. Yeah, I know. Speaking of Radiohead and the music scores and the reissues, I have to say that, really credit to La La Land Records for taking in the Bond catalog and doing their magic on them. This is not a sponsored comment of any kind. This is literally me just being grateful and thankful that they've done that. I think they've done such an incredible job with.
Well, let's give full credit to the series producer, Neil Esbalk.
Yes.
Who very kindly agreed to answer a ton of my questions for my article about Moonraker.
Cheers to Neil.
Yes, here's to Neil, who would have watched this eventually.
Hopefully.
Neil has done an amazing job. I also want to mention Mike Matessino.
Yes,
and course. Mike Matessino, I've been aware of for many years because he was involved in doing a lot of the soundtrack reissues on Mondo Records.
Yes,
beautiful editions, and he did a lot of the mastering and mixing. And so he and Neil both do stuff for La La Land. And on the Moonraker, Mike did the mix, and it's a beautiful mix. And if you read my article, he's got lots of really interesting things to say about it. But Moonraker's a very key film for him. And if you go to his blog, and I link to it in my review, there's a wonderful description of his relationship with Moonraker. But yes, I mean, Danny, show up the two latest vinyl editions of La La Land, because basically they've started on CD. And the CDs are the most complete versions, 2 CDs where you get the full score, every little bit of music in order. Then you get the soundtrack album, and then you get all the extra cues. And now they've started doing vinyl versions, and they're stunningly well done. I mean,
how can you go wrong with Dr. Goodhead?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then, of course, Goldfinger.
Yeah.
And, I have to say, I'm glad that, for example, so this is obviously Goldfinger. It's also a gatefold.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's only a single LP, whereas Moonraker is 2 discs. But if you compare the Moonraker CD to the Moonraker record, I much prefer the record, what they did. The artwork is absolutely spectacular.
But do you prefer the sound? I felt the sound was better on the vinyl. The violins were sweeter.
Yes, I think so. I think so. I remember when I read your comment there, I was like, you know what? You're right.
There's just something about the violin sound, which is, it reminded me a lot of Deutsche Grammophon records from the 70s. There's just something a little bit off. And I think it's to do with the mics that we used in the session. Look, it's no reason not to buy the CD.
Yes.
The vinyl, actually, I published my article, and an hour or 2 later, I got a notification from La La Land saying that they were down to the last 50 copies of Moonraker on vinyl, and it sold out within 24 hours.
No
the power
kidding.
of tracking angle.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah,
all
that's
the people
amazing.
on the mailing list.
That's
but
great.
These vinyl editions, when they come out, you got to grab them because it's very limited.
Yeah, it reminds me of, so I have probably, I want to say it, 40 or 45 La La Land soundtracks.
They're all superb.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely. Did you get the Harry Potter box set?
I did not. No, I did not.
They might have done a repress.
Okay.
It is phenomenal.
Really?
Absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
And the sound on it, and I think it might be Mike. Yes, it's Mike, because I wrote a review of that box set.
Oh, no kidding. Interesting.
And very early in my time at Tracking Angle, and Mike got in touch with me because I misspelled his name. The shame of it. And we struck up a conversation. But that box set is phenomenal. And in particular, I think Prisoner of Azkaban is one of Williams's very, very best scores. Just phenomenal. Yeah. Well worth getting if it's still in print.
Mike, if I have one kind ask can you please repress the Mission Impossible CD collection? I think it's 7 or 8 discs. It came out years and years ago, and I did not get it at the time. And
I didn't know they'd done that. That must be phenomenal.
I love Mission Impossible. I mean, the whole score, the soundtrack, each of the series episodes have their own unique sound to them. And gosh, I would love to get that soundtrack box set, but I'm not entirely prepared to spend $500, $600, $700 on eBay. What they go for. The other comment that I have,
let me just quickly say that theme song is, I wowould say, as iconic as the James Bond theme. With the James Bond theme, all you need to hear is those bass notes.
Yes.
And with Mission Impossible, and composers have done this in the movies, you just need to hear bum, 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 and you know where you are. It's that iconic.
Absolutely. And not to digress too much off topic, even though it's sort of within James Bond, I guess in some way, shape, or form, somebody, please, Mike, La La Land Records, you guys need to get a hold of the Columbo episodes.
Ooh.
And do a complete box set on all the Columbo stuff. There are some absolutely phenomenal jazz greats in there that have composed.
Wow. So John Burlingame, who wrote this fantastic book about the Bond films, he wrote a book a few years ago, which I have yet to buy, to my shame, Music for Prime Time. And this whole area it's his area of specialty. And he probably knows all about, thank you. And Thomas, nice to see you watching. Yes, they did 700 at La La Land, 300 at 007, and the 700 have gone. We've got a ranking there. There we go.
Of course, Connery, Craig, I totally get it.
Well, I do think your Bond, it's for one you grow up with. There's always an emotional connection.
Of course. And, it's funny you mentioned that. I was actually going to say that earlier. I think what really got me hooked on Roger Moore is that in my time of growing up, in my teenage years, that to me personified James Bond, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt, if I were 10, 15 years older, it undoubtedly would have been Sean Connery, right? I mean, he kicked the whole series off.
I mean, the thing is, this is that whole generation of English men who modeled themselves in their relationships with women and life on Sean Connery.
Of course. I mean, how many children were born during the movies? How many children were made and conceived?
I know.
Millions across the world. And you're absolutely right. I mean, it's everybody has their favorite. Everybody has the one Bond that stands out to them. But here's an interesting factoid that I don't know how many people actually know that. So going back a little bit into the history of James Bond and Ian Fleming, so Ian Fleming was a communications officer for MI6 during the war, of course, World War II. And he obviously getting all these communiques in, dealt with secret agents, double agents, triple agents. And one of the folks that he ran into who worked for MI6 was Dushko Popov,
I love that you are able to say that half a martini in.
Yes. Dushko Popov, who is back then it was Yugoslavia, but today would be Serbia, a Serbian double agent who worked for MI6 and the German Abwehr. And he would routinely give the Germans completely false information on, what was about to happen and what was going on. And a little anecdote, a very dear friend of mine who lives in Belgrade, his parents had a flat across from Duško Popov's flat in downtown
great.
Belgrade. Duško Popov passed away in 81. Came from a very wealthy Serbian family, had lots of interests across Europe with trade and import-export at the time, and fell into this whole trap, loved women, of course, all the cliches of a secret agent back in the day. And so Duško Popov and Ian Fleming had a relationship, and basically Duško Popov is really the level zero for Ian Fleming to have created that James Bond character.
Did they ever? Do you know if they ever met in person, or was it all virtual?
I don't know. That.
It seems unlikely they met.
I don't know. It's definitely worth looking into. However, if you're wondering what the hell and why am I calling myself Tricycle this evening, Tricycle was Duško Popov's MI6 code name.
I love it. I love it.
So there you go.
Fantastic.
There's a bit of trivia on James Bond.
Oh, that's great.
And who really inspired Ian Fleming to write about James Bond and create the character.
Well, I mean, that's so cool. Fleming went to my old school, so I always feel like there's a connection of some sort when I went to school at 13. But before that, my personal connection with the films was that the two original producers were Harry Saltzman and Albert Broccoli.
Of course.
And Harry Saltzman's son, Stephen, went to my school.
No.
So I knew him between the ages of 8 and 13.
Holy macro.
And he was kind of obnoxious. They were rich Americans in London.
Yep.
And their production company was Eon.
Yep.
EON was the production company. And Stephen would be picked up by a different chauffeur-driven limousine every day with Eon 1, Eon 2, Eon 3.
Naturally.
I also met, and I've literally just remembered this, when I was at university, there was a little store, this again before video, and they sold Super 8 films. And I was doing Super 8, and I would go get my film stock from them. And I would sometimes buy, companies would release shortened versions of films.
Yeah.
And the guy who ran the company was a stunt double for Roger Moore.
No way.
Yes. I don't know if he was the main stunt double, but he did. And he knew Roger. And in fact, on one occasion, he arranged for us, a group of us, to go to Pinewood Studios. This would have been around 81, 82. And it took us on a little tour of Pinewood, which was really, I completely forgot that until just now.
Holy crap. You really are James Bond, aren't you?
Not really.
Yes,
but
you
there was
are.
a famous birthday part, Stephen. So this is the way in which he manifested his American obnoxiousness. This was a day school in London. It was an international school right behind Harrods. And we would, at the end of games, sports, every day, we would have tea. Now, one of the primary things about the English school education is that the food was so bad in those days.
Really?
So bad. Oh my God. So we were starving.
Porridge? Is there porridge? Where is my porridge?
But tea time was something they couldn't screw up. I also almost used another word. And we would get these big things of tea, English bread, Tetley tea, very strong. And we would be given 4 rich tea biscuits.
Interesting.
And we were all starving, but he would come and say, "I'll give you £1 for one of your biscuits."
Oh my God.
And some people sold them, some people didn't.
Oh man.
But he had a birthday party for his 30th birthday party, and his dad, Harry Saltzman, rented out the Dorchester Hotel. which is this very ritzy
Posh.
hotel right in Mayfair.
Yeah.
And they rented out of the main ballroom and everything. And they had an entertainer and everything. And there were, I don't know, 50 children or something. And their parents. And things got out of hand.
Shocking.
The cake. And we went on a rampage. We were like 13. We went on a rampage through the corridors of Dorchester, terrorizing the guests. Can you imagine? And what I heard was, what my parents heard was that Harry had to part with a substantial sum of money to protect the other guests because of his rampaging children. I think Stephen went into the film business in some shade or form. Of course, Broccoli and Saltzman had a famous falling out, and then Broccoli did it all himself. But as we get into some of these scores, there are some Saltzman stories. I mean, the guy had no ear for music whatsoever. Really? He didn't even want it to be he didn't even want it to be a James Bond theme. Can you believe it?
Oh my God.
Shall we start on well, actually, very quickly.
You know, one more quick anecdote.
Oh, yes.
Since we're on the beginnings of James Bond, I believe that Saltzman and Broccoli, or I think it was Saltzman actually, that paid Fleming £2,000 for the rights of James Bond.
That makes sense.
Which is absurd. I mean, it's just one of those things you're thinking, and it's like, how in the world? But those were the days.
I mean, I do think they had to renegotiate at some point.
You would think, but you would think, right?
Saltzman was the more, as my memory serves, Saltzman was the more established film producer at that point when they bought the book.
Yes.
And then he did lots of other films too. I think, didn't he produce The Spy Who Came In From the Cold? I think he might have produced that. He said he did Battle of Britain, a bunch of other movies, and the Ipcress File and all of those.
Oh, the Ipcress File. Yes, Michael Caine, of course.
Yeah. But we can talk about Dr. No, but just to finish off on the personal angle,
I love those stories, by the way. That's absolutely bonkers.
Oh, there's more.
But wait.
But I wanted to tell you that after going to See You Only Live Twice, I mean, I was just hooked on the music. And I was a classical kid. I was starting to get into jazz, but I was playing classical.
Yeah.
So, but the first thing I bought was this. This is a wonderful, and I know you've got a copy. So why don't you show us your copy? Go full screen, because this is a really cool package here.
So hang on.
And this is the UK version. The American pressing has not got this really nice artwork.
Yep. It's, of course, a double LP. It's on United Artists Records.
UK.
Yes.
And there are more pages on the inside. Do you want to show them that?
Let's see.
There's all this great stuff, and they do it like a spy dossier. Yeah.
So there's this. I don't. Well, let's see.
You don't have another page. You should have a couple of pages in there.
Nope, not this. This one didn't come with that. So yours has that.
Yeah.
Hang on. Wait a minute.
Go from that.
Interesting.
Well, that's very strange.
Mine must be a later pressing then. Yeah.
Wow.
I must
maybe
have
someone
the
read
later
them
pressing.
out. That's the, But this was my real introduction, and this goes up to
Diamonds Are Forever.
I may have bought this later because this goes. No, I bought it around the time when this came out. Diamonds Are Forever had just come out, had just come out. Yeah, I think it's 72. This.
Yes.
So it goes up to Diamonds Are Forever, and it's a really, really nice selection of tracks.
You know what I love about it in particular is that it focuses on all the classic hits. You were talking about the Capsule in Space, right? John Barry, of course. let's see what else. RX Factory. I mean,
Yes.
The one thing that I think James Bond personifies for me more than any other film soundtrack or score is that, and it's probably psychological, and I think it's probably, just having grown up under those times and in that circumstance, is that you can tell me a scene of any of these records and I know exactly where it is and how it's playing out, and I can hear the music in my head. And I outside of the main Mission Impossible theme that we spoke about earlier, outside of maybe the Pink Panther theme or Casino Royale, I don't really have that connection with music scores.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the other composer where I do have that connection is Bernard Herrmann, but it's a completely different kind of thing. But I think what you have to talk about with Bond, and we're really talking about John Barry here,
yes,
is just his and we can get into this a little bit. What he was able to do so much with so little. Let's just talk about the Bond theme for a moment, because Dr. No, the original score, which is up here, that's a mono US, which I found in a yard sale at Rhino Records in the old days. Mono, it's a great sounding record, great.
Yep.
But Monty Norman, there was no Bond theme,
yep.
And Harry Saltzman, first example of being a complete noodle in terms of music, thought, oh, that doesn't matter. We'll just use the song Underneath the Mango Tree, which is lovely.
Yeah.
But
Underneath the mango tree. Da, 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 da.
I know. And it's lovely. And I love the score. And it's a really good action score using the Jamaican color. I mean, Monty Norman went out there. I think he even recorded some Jamaican musicians. And this is a great album, often overlooked, but no Bond theme. And I think it was the editor. It sounds like the kind of thing it would be the editor, whose name is now escaping me, directed me on a Majesty Secret Service. And he's the person who really developed this whole style of action editing, and with using jump cuts to speed up the action. Yeah, that's it. His name has gone out of my head. Oh,
by the way, God, I know that you mentioned OHMSS is coming out on vinyl. I think possibly. They haven't finally confirmed. I would love for all of these to come out on vinyl.
Well, especially OHMSS and Thunderball are the two really important ones. But anyway, they put the cut of the film together. While I'm blithering on, could you look up who the director is? It's driving me nuts, because he's kind of the essential element in Bond, because he developed this whole editing style in the first group of films, and then he directed OHMSS, and then went on to have a career as a director. And I just can't believe I've forgotten his name. But anyway, you found it? Wait. Oh my God, I can't believe I've forgotten it.
Yourselves. I know, I hate it, man. As I'm getting older, I'm finding myself, unfortunately.
Don't.
Wait, Maibaum's shooting script. Peter Hunt.
Peter Hunt, of course.
And Peter Hunt, the great Peter Hunt. I mean, look up his encyclopedia of directing credits and you're going to be blown away.
Yeah. And like I say, he really created the whole modern way of doing action in the Bond films.
Yes.
Anyway, they looked at the rough cut of the film and they thought, this needs something. Monty Norman found this sort of song that was earmarked for a musical. It was kind of this weird little song. And they brought in John Barry, who at that point was really well known for the John Barry 7, had some hits with Beat Girl and stuff like this.
Yep.
And he just had this sound, which was kind of both poppy and jazzy.
And he was
There
an
he
incredibly
is.
young lad. Look at
Very
him.
young.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
What was he?
Look at
2019, I think. 2019 or 20, I think.
Was he really that young?
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
maybe a bit older. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, and Vic Flick who did the guitar part, played in the John Barry 7. And Barry did this arrangement, which is just so utterly brilliant. And then there was a lawsuit that went on literally for decades as to who authored the Bond
the original
theme.
Bond score. Yes.
No, the Bond theme.
Okay.
And it literally went on for decades. And finally, they found in favor of Monty Norman because he'd written the original melody.
Yep.
But the arrangement was so iconically Barry. And that was sort of the model that he then brought to From Russia with Love. And he didn't even know he was going to be hired for From Russia with Love. But that first scene in Dr. No, where you're in the gambling club, and you see this dusky beauty, Sylvia Trench is gambling, and you only see Bond from behind, and he's dealing, and the music starts to come in.
Oh, I know. It's so iconic.
And then it reveals him in that medium shot, and you're off to the races. But it was Barry then with From Russia with Love, and then even more so with Goldfinger, who really established the Bond sound. And what you see over the years is that when they hire other composers, they ignore Barry at their peril.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Hang on. Wait. 1 second. And here we go.
Oh, there's the scene.
Yep.
So there's no music at this point.
Yep.
He's coming in with a card because he has to go into headquarters because we've just seen someone get murdered. Oh, this is so cool that you found it. Here we go. And here she is, Sylvia Trench. Yep. And we don't see him. He's here on the right.
Yeah.
Just the hands. He's the dealer. And you're on his
sweet à la banque.
And then you pulls back. You're on his back. And
I mean, the phone is pulling, and
that's actually a dolly shot. And then the theme's coming in now. And then she says, and it's the famous line, Bond, James Bond. When we finally get the shot on him.
S'il vous plaît, monsieur. Garde.
Yes. So Terence Young, here we go.
I admire your luck, Mr. Bond.
There we go.
Just
absolutely fantastic.
I mean, of course, he's wearing a toupee.
And the thing is, he was a very interesting guy. I mean, he grew up so dirt poor. You know, the famous Python sketch with the 4 Yorkshiremen. Well, you think you were poor? We were eating gravel in the street and all that. Well, he was deadly poor.
Yes.
And his path to stardom was like Schwarzenegger, was Mr. Universe.
Yep.
And so when he was cast in this with his Scottish brogue and everything, the director, Terence Young, took him under his wing, took him to his tailor in Savile Row and had all the suits done and coached him in all the mannerisms of the upper class. But I've always felt that the strength of Connery is that he has that, but then he has that roughness underneath. And in Dr. No, the thing that really shocked people was this scene where he corners one of the enemy agents and he gets the information out of him and then he shoots him anyway. And that was very shocking at the time. Yeah,
I bet. I mean, look, it brought a persona to the silver screen that simply didn't exist before.
No.
You didn't show scenes like that. You didn't show murder, to call it that, right?
Well, in the next scene when we go to his apartment, his house or whatever, and she is she's playing golf, and she's just got his shirt on, and the camera's there, and you just see the legs. Oh my God, it's so sexier than all this explicit stuff you see today.
Yeah. From Russia with Love, Tom Jones, the great Tom Jones.
Oh no, that's Thunderball.
Oh, it's Thunderball.
We're getting to Tom Jones. It's Thunderball. No, it's Matt Monro.
Matt Monro. How could I do that? Yeah, Matt Monro.
No, that's okay. And the thing is that the title song is not written by Barry. It's written by Lionel Bart, who was a huge hit on the stage at that time, and of course he wrote Oliver. But yeah, that melody, which is gorgeous, I think it's arranged by Barry. But it's brilliant.
And of course, Matt Monro sang the title song to The Italian Job.
Yes, good point.
Yep. And of course, that launched his career into the stratosphere. Love Matt Monro. I have a couple of his records.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Right. I don't know much of his other stuff.
Oh, wonderful guy. Things. Wonderful guy. Such a beautiful voice.
Was he English or American?
American.
Sure. He was American. Okay.
American. Yep.
But you only hear the song at the end of the film where he's dangling the film. The opening of the credits, and we must just talk about the wonderful credit sequences by Maurice Binder.
Of course.
It's over the, I think, is that the one with the belly dancer? I think, yes, it's the belly dancer projections, Maurice Binder. And it's the combination of all of that works so well. But Barry gives it this wonderful, because so much of it is set in Turkey, etc. He gives it this wonderful Eastern flavor. And that's something to talk about with Barry, is his ability from film to film to put an immediate musical character on it, appropriate to the film, using the minimal amount of musical material, just a little orchestration or something. Oh, that's after. Wonderful pre-credit sequence.
Listen to that.
I don't want to get blocked by YouTube. Here we go with the projections. Yeah, fantastic.
Unbelievable. I mean,
this was actually, I think, the first Bond record I bought. And I couldn't find it, but I do have the 70s. It's either it's a 60s UK repress. And in fact, in general, if you're going for the original soundtrack albums, you want to go for the UKs, because they were all recorded in England, except for a few of them.
Yes. I will say that there is, from what I've collected over the years, I found that there's a huge difference in some cases from the UK original to the US pressings.
Oh, that's interesting. I can believe it. With certain ones. Can you be specific on any particular titles?
So just because I see it on behind you, OHMSS, definitely the UK pressing completely kills the US one.
And this is a Japanese pressing, which is gorgeous.
Interesting.
But then when I wrote my article about all the different Barry Bond scores in Tracking Angle, it's about a year ago. To find my articles, you just find something I've written, click on my name, and the whole list comes up.
Yes.
Someone would put a comment that the German pressing is really, really good.
Really?
So that's I've got, and you know how that is sometimes, like with the Beatles records, the German pressings.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to come on to that, but yeah, I can believe that. No, in general, you want to avoid the American pressings.
They're thin. They're. I mean, talk
noisy.
About noisy. The strings. I mean, again, going back to my original point of the La La Land reissues. Look. So MGM underwent a Bond catalog reissue back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of those here.
Yep. I remember I collected those as well. And
I got them all.
while I thought they were okay at the time, these La La Land reissues are night and day differences.
No, so the thing is, there's a digital step. They've gone back, but they have gone back whenever possible to the original multi-track elements.
Yep.
And then they do a digital version of that and remix them.
Yep.
Usually remix them if they can. And I have no trouble. If something's from a digital source, if it's done well, it's going to sound great.
Completely agree with you.
There's no question these are the best versions of the soundtracks, and the CDs are just fine. It's only us vinyl fanatics.
Of course.
Do you want to talk about Goldfinger? Because you've got La La Land Goldfinger right there. And I wasn't going to buy this. And I finally broke down when I was writing my article, and the prices had really gone up, and I found one which wasn't too bad. So I finally got it, but I haven't listened to it yet. Go full size so people can really see it.
As soon as Goldfinger was announced, hang on a second. As soon as Goldfinger was announced, the vinyl record, that is, which came out later after the double CD, I was like, you know what? I got to get this. I mean, again, this is just so iconic and so epic. And I'm so glad that they redid the artwork for the vinyl edition.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I think I mean, look at it. White dinner jacket, carnation. Look at him. I mean, come on. It's just so iconic. It's just so iconic. It evokes so many incredible memories and just feelings, I guess.
Well, something else we need to talk about with these La La Land releases is the quality of the
Yep. And so this is I forgot what they called it. This was
that's the Fort Knox edition.
The Fort Knox edition. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're releasing 700 copies direct from La La Land.
Yeah.
And then 300 copies from the 007 store.
Oh,
and 300 copies, but those sell out really quickly. And it's a different colored vinyl.
Interesting. Okay. I did not know that.
And I can't remember where they're pressed. Oh, I put it in my article, my memory. But they are specially mastered for vinyl. But what I wanted to say is one of the things that's so great about these La La Land reissues is the documentation and the design and everything. They've really gone to town on it. And I wish I've got to try by memory the names of there are two designers. And I had it in my article, but I can't remember now. But I think it's Dan Goldwasser and then Jim Titus for the vinyl.
Okay. Yeah.
And I love that they did not do the poster artwork of the front of the vinyl. But
Agreed.
they found these iconic photos.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. And they're just wonderful. And they use John Burlingham, who basically does an adaptation of his notes from the James Bond book. And it's the whole package is done with such care and thought, the way soundtracks need to be done.
And
the sound is great.
The sound is phenomenal. And of course, I mean, how could you possibly go wrong when Shirley Bassey sings, the opening song. And of course, I think one other thing to mention about this whole James Bond aura, in my opinion, is it really launched into the stratosphere many of these artists that sang the title songs that were really, I mean, they were famous before, but
sometimes, not always.
Yes. But I mean, Shirley Bassey, she became synonymous with female vocalists after Goldfinger came out. Right.
The wonderful story about the session. I don't know if you've seen the film Becoming Led Zeppelin. It's the most fantastic documentary. They found all this material.
Wow.
But Jimmy Page was there on the session
for
the Goldfinger song, and so was John Paul Jones. They were both session guys. This is before Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And they tell the story that, she knew she had to do this huge high note. And I've also got some quote in my review of the Goldfinger, 2-part review, Barry telling her something like, just hit it, rock it, whatever.
Of course.
And she had to do this really long
Yeah.
high note at the end.
Yeah.
And she knew the only way she could do it was to remove an article of intimate clothing. So Jimmy Page, I think it's John Paul Jones, tells the story of seeing her brassiere fly out of the booth.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Isn't that great?
That's
and
crazy.
Then, of course, Tom Jones had to try and match it in Thunderball, and that's another story.
Yes. Wow.
But just to mention, the thing with Goldfinger is that he just creates that aura of gold. And it's so simple. It's little hand symbols, certain percussion, and you're right there. And and I think I talk about in the article the scene with the laser, and just how he builds the tension in the music.
It's incredible.
It's absolutely stunning. Any thoughts on Goldfinger, Danny?
Gosh, I mean, we could probably talk about Goldfinger for hours on end.
Yes.
I mean, there's I think if there is one iconic Bond movie that personifies everything about James Bond, I think it's Goldfinger. I really
think it is too. I'm not sure it's the one I would want to see all the time, but I agree with you.
I mean, the set locations: Switzerland, America, Fort Knox. You've got Gerd Fröbe, playing the villain, right?
Odd Job.
Odd Job, yes. Such iconic characters, right? The lines in the movie. I mean, come on, who does not remember? Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Right. Yes. It's and the girls. I mean, that scene where she gets painted gold, he wakes up and sees her. It is so chilling.
Yeah,
it is
the Hilton Fontainebleau in Miami Beach, which of course today is such an iconic location. Back then, yes, it was a luxury hotel, but today, of course, I
didn't know that.
Yes, I think the Aston Martin. I mean, come on,
of course,
right?
The Aston Martin,
the toys that he had. There's just so many things about Goldfinger that I think really kicked off a whole new era of James Bond, in my opinion.
No, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, the diehard people tend to prefer From Russia with Love. Because it's more of a straight spy story. And I just adore the girl in that. And there's so many other things, the guy who works for British intelligence, whose name I forget all of his, and then Rosa Kreb, great Lottie Lenya, all this stuff. But the thing with Goldfinger, it was this, and they brought on the new director, Guy Hamilton.
Of course, Guy Hamilton.
Balance between serious, funny sets. Ken Adam, he didn't work on From Russia with Love, but they brought him back for Goldfinger, and it's the beginning of that iconic look, Ken Adam look, and with the gold and everything. No, it really is. It's for one.
And by the way, I think when you look back at the Daniel Craig movies, I think in particular Spectre and Skyfall, of course, there are some scenes. I'm thinking of Skyfall, the scene with him and M in the Aston Martin, and they're outside, and you see the country roads. Which I think, again, I don't know, but I'm only assuming that they tried to mimic and evoke the emotion of Sean Connery up in the Swiss Alps.
Yes, very good point. I'd not thought of that, but yes, absolutely.
Right. You see the winding roads. You see, it's just. I mean, there's so many moments of Goldfinger that are, again, to reiterate, I really believe that Goldfinger marks the point in the franchise where it really took off into the stratosphere.
Yeah, and it was Barry's, to the end, his favorite score. The film, which very directly references Goldfinger visually, is one of the ones that I think is terribly underrated, which is Quantum of Solace.
Ah, yes, of course.
All that stuff in the hotel. I remember when I first, and I think that's a real favorite of mine. And it's interesting because I go on some of these Bond channels, and there are quite a few people who are really defending that film. I've always liked it very, very much.
I did too.
But that sequence in the hotel and all of that, it's straight out of Goldfinger. Straight out of Goldfinger. Shall we move on to the next one, which is Thunderball?
Let's do it. Oh, Thunderball. Yes. So I remember, of course, so we would vacation in Italy when I was young with my parents, and lo and behold, there was a yacht in the marina that was named Disco Volante.
No.
Yes.
Was it the actual boat?
No, it wasn't. It was a totally different boat. But I remember I was like, I connected the dots and I was like, oh my God, hilarious. I mean, this is, again, iconic, right?
Yes.
Who names their freaking yacht Disco Volante unless you're a complete Bond freak, right? Which of course is the name of the
villain Largo.
Yes, Largo's. Yes. And of course the again iconic opening scene with Largo and all of his henchmen. I mean,
yes. The thing about, so that I think is really one of the very finest Barry scores, without a doubt.
Yes.
It's a huge score. It's I think I read somewhere it's as long, the score is as long as Dr. No is as a film.
Really?
It's huge. And the thing was, the original soundtrack LP had a fraction of the music.
Oh, yes.
And the first time you got to hear a lot of the music that was on for the underwater sequence was on this.
Yes. So
this release that came out on for the 30th anniversary, and it had this huge chunk of music. But now that's all on the La La Land.
And
release.
just to age and date ourselves, the 30th anniversary is now basically 30 years ago. Practically.
This is actually for real.
This is a great one. Yes.
I guess if you are collecting the La La Land records, this becomes redundant. Yes. But there's some wonderful stuff on here. They have first disc is all the main title themes up to that time, which was License to Kill.
Yeah.
But then you get all these
anecdotes,
demo versions, and stuff like this.
And by the way, you hear tape hiss, which is immediately a sign of quality, in my opinion.
Yes.
They didn't noise it, right? Which of course became very popular. So, and yes, the one thing I was going to mention that earlier, but I forgot. I got sidetracked of all things.
How on earth did that happen?
I have no clue. The one thing that always bugged the heck out of me with all the records was how many amazing parts of the score they omitted. And the records were invariably 25, 28, 32 minutes long.
I know.
And what a shame. And so that's why, again, the La La Land stuff, what I love about it is you get the first disc, and of course that contains the soundtrack, but then
it goes into the second disc. It's all the cues in order, which is
it's
wonderful.
Brilliant. I mean, look at the track listing here. It's just amazing. You know, there's so much stuff on here, and you play it. And again, I'm going back to my earlier comment. I'm listening to the CD and I hear the track and I know exactly in the film what part that fits to and what part it's from.
Yeah.
And anyway, I guess it just means that I'm a nut about James Bond.
So let's move on. I'm going to try and keep things moving, because we could basically do a live stream on every single film.
Yes.
The next one is a particular favorite of mine.
Okay.
You Only Live Twice.
Ah, yes, of course. Nancy Sinatra. Yeah.
Yeah. And Barry is able to establish this Japanese location with just a minimal means, using particular percussion. He had a koto player, and I can't remember what the other instrument is. And he uses, it's the cliche, da 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 da. It's a cliche, but it works. So you immediately know.
Yeah.
But the theme song is one of his more lyric ones. And Nancy Sinatra was a huge star at the time. She'd just done Boots Are Made for Walking. But the thing was, she struggled. She came in, she was not used to being backed by a 60-piece orchestra. They had to do 30 takes. And it is edited to death to get to get it 30 takes. And she was a basket case at the end of it.
Wow.
Having said that, it's one of my absolute favorites. And the whole score. Now, this has got Capsule in Space, which we referred to earlier, which has been sampled by many people. We'll come back to that.
Of course.
But then it's got the exquisite instrumental version of the main theme, Mountains and Sunsets.
Yes.
It's
beautiful.
So gorgeous. And this is right up there of my favorite Barry scores.
Yeah.
That I'm taking to a desert island. I think it's this. Thunderball, possibly. I forgot to tell my Thunderball story. I have to tell that. This, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and believe it or not, we're getting to it, Living Daylights.
Interesting.
Amazing score. But I quickly have to tell my Thunderball story, which was when Sean Connery had his AFI Lifetime Achievement Award in Hollywood at the Kodak Theater. I, being a graduate of AFI, got an invitation to go. So I went. I rented a really cool tux, slightly Bond villain, and I took Elaine with me, and it was the first time I'd ever had a vodka martini, and I'd always had gin martinis, Remy Martin,
gin martini. Yep.
Absolutely, I'm very purist about it. And they were doing these two different types of vodka martinis, and they were delicious.
Wow.
So and you can watch a lot of it online. So they're going through this whole tribute. Mike Myers is one of the hosts. It's terrific. At a certain point, the lights went down, and out came these platforms, these disco platforms with like 3 or 4 go-go girls.
Oh my God. Really?
And then the man himself came out. Tom Jones came out and sang Thunderball.
No way.
It was sensational. It brought the house down. I don't think that is available on YouTube, unfortunately.
Wow.
But it was absolutely wonderful. And he hit the high note. And again, the famous story is in the session when he was recording that, he had problems. And he said he almost passed out.
Really?
Yes, he had to steady himself because he was trying to hold that note, and he's got serious pipes. That occasion for the was notable also because one of the presenters was Andy Garcia, who had starred in The Untouchables with Sean, and I shared a urinal with him. Went into the men's room, Andy was right next to me in a 3-piece white suit. And we did that thing that men do of not really looking at each other. But as we zipped up and left, it was like, oh, hello, I know who you are. You know who I am. And they played on, when Sean Connery came out to accept it, they played him on with a bagpipe and he did a little dance. And I mean, to see the man in person was really...
I can only imagine.
It was sensational. So I just wanted to tell you that story.
Oh, that's brilliant. No, I love that. That's so wonderful. gosh, when we meet in person, shocking to the viewers as it may be, we actually have not met in person. We lived in LA all this time together, side by side, not
and didn't
knowing
know each other.
Yes. And so we got to know each other over the last couple of years. And so when I shake your hand, I will have shaken the hand of the man that watched Sean Connery, Andy Garcia.
It was a brave mood, a three-piece white suit.
Wow.
That's a brave move.
Yes, that is brave. Yes.
But no, it was great. So then we have on Her Majesty's Secret Service. And I do remember going to see that with my dad. This gentleman here is Mark Ward. That's me. I went to see that. I was already a huge Diana Rigg fan because of the Avengers television show, still to this day.
My secret girlfriend.
Oh, God. And that film, I mean, at the time, everyone was down on Lazenby.
Yeah.
But these days, most hardcore Bond people, they'll pick Casino Royale of the new ones.
Yeah.
But they will pick OHMSS. And Lazenby's actually very close to the character in the books. But it is just, I just think as a film in and of itself, it is the best. And at the end, you are gutted.
Yes.
Absolutely gutted.
A couple of notables from that movie. Of course, it's the only movie where James Bond actually gets married.
Oh no, didn't he get married in the very last? Do they actually get married, or do they just live together in No Time to Die? We need a Bond expert to chime in here. They have a child, but
I think No Time to Die.
I can't remember if they actually get married, if they actually tie the knot.
Good question. Maybe. Goes to show where my fondness for Bond movies begins and ends. Yeah. Of course, Telly Savalas playing the evil genius, the villain.
He's great.
Oh, fantastic. Blofeld. I mean, just amazing. We have, of course, his second in command returning from Russia with Love. I forgot her name. Olga or something or another.
Oh, no, but she's not in From Russia with Love. That's Lottie Lenya in From Russia Love. It's someone, you mean the lady henchman.
Yes, the lady henchman.
It's a different
actress. A different one. Okay.
Yeah, but very similar.
Very similar. Yeah, there you go. And of course, it's the only Bond movie where George Lazenby plays James Bond a single time. And of course, there's by the way, I think it's on Netflix or Amazon. The documentary on Lazenby, is must watch. The short end of the stick, Australian men's. It
was like a men's fragrance,
or something model. Yep. And to audition, he walked into Saltzman's office. He went to the tailor that outfitted Sean Connery, of course. Paid out of his own pocket. And, if you believe just half the stuff that's in that, it's really quite extraordinary how he landed the role of James Bond. And unfortunately, due to circumstances, it was
not well received at the time. It really.
And
I think his performance was not well received.
Interesting.
And I think he was dubbed. He was certainly dubbed when he needed to have the English accent. George Baker, who played the guy at Heraldry, dubbed him.
No way.
What?
That's the first time
but it was not well received, and the film didn't do the best box office. But in so many ways, it's a stunning film. And the thing was, because they needed to sell the new actor.
Yeah.
They felt that Barry was really important with the music.
Yeah.
And they have the opening title sequence where you see all the flashbacks to the other films. Yep. But Barry did something very different. Instead of having a theme song, he decided to incorporate this brand new technology, the Moog synthesizer.
Yes.
And he also hired Phil Ramone to be the producer on the sessions.
No way.
And I think Ramone may have had some experience with the Moog. And the thing was, Barry wanted to do, oh, there we go. That's the opening scene where she's walking into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she gets attacked. And it's a great cute. Look, this is, I think, far and away the best directed of all the films. It's stunningly well directed.
Yeah. There's the
look. He even pulls off. He even pulls off Day for Night here.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Typical, handheld camera,
Look at
speeding up the frames.
Yep.
Jump cutting like crazy.
Yep.
I love from this period using the zoom lens in and out.
Yeah.
I wish they would do that more today.
Is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm wondering who did the cinematography on this. I can't remember offhand.
Yeah.
This whole opening sequence is great.
And the score comes in. Yep.
So when this is all when they start attacking him, and the cue is this never happened to the other fella, and it's a great action cue. But what's great watching it without the music is, which is going to come in a moment, is of course this notion that Tracy would just pass out like this is ridiculous. She's so tough. Diana Riggs. They didn't get along.
Really?
The legend. I went to a screening.
Oh my God! No kidding.
I went to a screening of this on film with Lazenby himself. And the legend has always been that for all their love scenes, she would eat garlic beforehand.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my
That's
God.
the legend. I don't know if it's entirely true. But just look how beautifully this is done.
Yeah.
The cutting.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant. Yeah.
The way the camera is just so kinetic, as you're about to see. I mean, it's fantastic. And look, this is really good Day for Night. Really good Day for Night.
Brilliant.
Here we go. And again, and you'll see.
Yeah.
Look. Fantastic. And this is where the music is coming in.
And of course, the choreography compared to what you get for movies today is
but it's kind of real. It's real.
It is. Which I guess goes back to your point of, many people post launch of this movie really felt, and of course, I mean, listen to that score.
It's fantastic.
Brilliant.
And it's on that double LP set.
Yeah.
That was how I first got it.
Yeah.
But the main title, and he's about to say this never happened when she drives off. And he says, this never happened to the other fella.
And that, I believe, is a Ford Mustang 760. Yeah.
Yes, your cars.
Yeah.
So the thing is, with the theme song, there's no vocal. So he just did it with the Moog, and they contacted Robert Moog, and Barry wanted to do it live with the orchestra because he always wanted to do everything live. And they figured out the way to do it was with 3 separate keyboards because it wasn't polyphonic in those days.
Yeah.
The record that had come out, which had really put the Moog on the map, was Switched on Bach. Fantastic record, started the whole series of records, and actually in many ways prefigured the historically informed performance approach to Baroque music and earlier because it's using a synthesizer. It's very clean, the tempi are fast. Anyway, Barry had heard that. He really wanted to use the Moog, and they figured it out that what they needed was 3 separate keyboards with 3 separate sets of modules. Can you imagine? Wow. And the thing was, these things would go out of tune.
For sure.
Mess. Yeah. If you were recording live with an orchestra.
Yeah.
And then he doubles it with, and it's the move, the synthesizer does dee ba ba ba, and it's doubled with bass, and then the bass starts to go, and then the brass comes in with the main theme, and you have the hourglass with all the shots from the series. And I think it's probably my favorite action score. I mean,
Really?
it's
Okay.
a real slow burn movie because
Yep.
if you remember, there's
Yep.
all the early stuff when he falls in love
Yep.
with Tracy, and
Yep.
you don't really get the action until he escapes Pitt's Gloria.
It's Gloria.
And then
Yep.
you get those ski scenes with Willie Bogner, who shot them going down backwards. And I've
Incredible.
skied there. I've skied
Yes.
at Murin.
No way.
Yes.
Ah.
It's actually, and I've been into the restaurant and everything, and
Wow.
the precipice is there. It's all
Yep.
there.
Wow.
But that run off
Yep.
the top
Insane.
is really steep. The
Yep.
idea that you would ski it backwards. And
we know that Willie Bogner returned to an Austrian fellow, by the way. He returned.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yep. He returned.
He was an Olympic medalist,
Yes.
wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he started his production company doing stunt work and made a killing. He also had a fashion line, the Willie Bogner ski line.
Of course he did.
And the only reason I know that is because when I went skiing in my teens, my parents were like, well, you know, what's your preference for your ski outfit? And I was like, okay, James Bond, Willie Bogner, of course.
Oh my God.
So little Danny comes here with his little Willie Bogner outfit.
With the very tight things
course.
which hooked under your feet. Yes,
Yep.
in those
Yep.
days. Yep. Yeah.
And,
Before all the baggy stuff.
So he did the choreography for OHMSS for
He did
Your Eyes
all-
Only.
All the ski sequences.
Yes, not Octopussy. View to a Kill.
Yep. There
Yep.
was a good ski chase in
Yes.
that.
Oh, yeah, the
All
beginning of that. Yes.
But you know, that music comes in and it's just sensational.
Yeah.
And then the other thing we have to talk about is We Have All the Time in the World,
Oh,
which was Louis Armstrong's
Louis Armstrong.
last
Yes.
his last recording session.
Yeah.
And people think he's playing the cornet on it, and it's not him. It's a
Yeah.
studio musician mimicking him, but it sounds. For years I thought it was him playing.
Yeah.
But it is the
Beautiful.
most exquisite song.
It is.
It's just
beautiful.
absolutely stunning, and you know the one thing that redeems. But
Love
you
it.
can hear, even though the voice is gone,
Yeah.
you know, if you listen back to
Oh,
Louis
yeah.
Armstrong's
Unbelievable.
recordings from the 30s,
Yeah.
he really knows how to put over a song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And likewise here, the
Yeah.
voice is barely
Oh, it's
there,
incredible. Yeah.
and he puts it over beautifully.
Unbelievable.
And very wisely, for No Time to Die, Hans Zimmer just used that theme over and over.
Yeah.
Thank goodness he did.
Yeah.
One of the few times he got it right.
It fittingly, I would say, right? I mean, with the whole theme of the movie, and you know, obviously, you know, I suppose we can give spoilers away because who hasn't seen No Time to Die with Bond dying at the end? Which, by the way, I still think, I know we're sort of skipping forward, but I still can't get over the fact that they killed off James Bond.
I thought it was a really good decision.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't like it. I like it.
You know, James Bond to me is like this ever glowing force of nature that you can't kill. You can hurt him. You can maim him. You can do all kinds of nasty things to him. You can't kill James Bond. And to me, I don't know.
Do you know why I like it? First of all, he was leaving the series.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, why not do the bold thing?
Yeah.
But secondly, one of the things I loved about the Daniel Craig version was the emotional vulnerability, which goes back to On Her Majesty's Secret Service. The scene at the end, which is Peter Hunt, it's brilliant. It's just a throwaway. It's so quick.
Yeah.
And the scene where he's talking to her after she's dead, it was ad-libbed.
Really?
Every time you see it, it's absolutely devastating. And at that point, you kind of realize, well, actually, George Lazenby did a pretty good job, because you're very invested in his portrayal.
Yeah.
So what I loved about the Craig version of Bond, and one of the reasons I adore Casino Royale, is he connected with that feeling of that once she had gone, Vesper Lynd had gone, something had gone out of his life. And I love that Quantum of Solace that follows is a pure revenge drama, hard-driven revenge. The girl, who again I think is one of the best Bond girls in Quantum of Solace, they don't go to bed with each other.
Yes. Shocking.
I always found the actress in Spectre and No Time to... I never felt there was a great deal of chemistry between them, Léa Seydoux. So I don't completely buy it, but I do buy it that he sacrificed himself for Queen and Country, or King and Country at that point. So it was a bold move, and I think it left the slate clean just to do whatever they're going to do, which I would not like to be in the position of any of those people trying to figure that one out.
Well, and you know, to on that theme, I have no clue. I mean, there's all these. So Denis Villeneuve has been signed on to direct.
I know. Anyone who might pull it off, he might.
Yep. I believe he actually got signed for a 3-movie deal.
Yeah, I think you may be right.
Yep. And so there's all these rumors floating around. Are they going to make it a period piece?
That was always my hope, that they would do a period piece.
I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Where it gets tricky is the whole business of gadgets and everything.
Yes.
Because that's such a part of the franchise. But the idea to actually set it in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that would be absolutely amazing.
And it also gives you a chance to reinvent the sound of it and all of that.
Yep. And really set it up for a next generation of Bond fans, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll see. They still haven't announced the cast for it.
I don't think they've gotten that far, and I'm being very I would not like, but he could pull it off. I mean, his Blade Runner sequel I thought was terrific. So
oh yes, absolutely. I hope that they will hit the ground running, and that it's not going to be an episode of not On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but Casino, or the second with
Pierce Brosnan.
No.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah. One too many martinis.
We're only an hour and a half into this. We're barely through the first set of films.
We're going to be here all night. Quantum of Solace.
Yes.
Rewrite after rewrite.
Writing very problematic.
Yes. Very problematic, which I think is what gave the movie such a bad rap. Even though I completely agree with you that it is one of my favorite of the Craig era.
Mark Forster, who's the director, very interesting director, he gave it a real look and a feel, which I think is very, very underrated.
Yes,
and to me, it has the single greatest set piece scene in all Bond at the opera.
Oh, yes.
In Quantum of Solace, where they go to the opera.
Salzburg, yes.
Not
Salzburg. Felden.
It's on.
It's the last.
Lake.
Yes. It's the last. It's basically Liechtenstein almost. Vorarlberg. Way back in the mountains of Austria. Yeah.
Right, where the lake is and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, it's right in there.
I, as a native Austrian German speaker, if I go to Vorarlberg, I do not understand a single word that they speak.
Understood.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing in Switzerland. So that's even true in Austria, that different valleys have a completely different accent.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
We're in Schwarzenegger territory.
Yeah, it's a fascinating movie. taking place in Puerto Rico, taking place in Vorarlberg, taking place in the
desert. Yeah,
the desert. Where the hell was it?
Oh no, it's in Chile.
Chile, yeah.
Yes.
That hotel that they built, right?
It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
No, I love that film. I think she's one of the absolute best Bond girls. I love her.
Yeah.
I think she's gorgeous, she's sexy, but she's a really good actress.
Yeah.
And you really believe her completely. And that final scene where everything's coming down in flames.
Yes.
Her terror.
Yeah.
And actually he's scared too. So yeah, no, I think it's a very underrated film. I actually quite like the theme song too, done by Thingamy and Thingamy. This is where we betray our age.
I know this.
The drummer and the guitarist, and they made. Oh my god, my brain has gone to mush.
I do.
But yeah, no, it's a really underrated one. But we've got to press on, or else we're really going to be here all night.
Why don't we skip forward past, or why don't we skip forward into the mid 80s, and we look at Living Daylights, we look at so it wasn't actually, so Living Daylights was actually filmed in Vienna, even though it claims to be Budapest, I think.
But but the thing with the fairground, that's all in Vienna, isn't it?
That's in Vienna. Yes, correct.
Third Man.
Yep. And of course it was the two flick era of Timothy Dalton. I do not have, of course, the title song sung by Aha. And then
very problematic relationship with Barry.
Really?
He had a great relationship with Duran Duran.
Okay.
For the one before.
A View to a Kill,
I think the weakest in a way.
Yeah.
But did not get along with Aha.
Interesting.
But we've got to talk about this.
Yes.
Okay,
all right.
Because
you have an original. No kidding.
Yes, you've got to go full screen because you've got to see this.
Wait a minute.
This poster.
Hang on.
Oh my god. I think this is hands down the sexiest poster of them all. I will say nothing more. Apologizing to
Wait a second. Is that her?
To the lady viewers
that I see.
This is the last Bond score done by Barry, and he imported.
I need to get that. I think I need to get that.
So that is an American pressing.
Okay.
And I've always wanted to get an English pressing, but this sounds phenomenal.
Okay.
So again, as with On Her Majesty's Secret Service, he really wanted to bring in a new sound, which was a drum machine. And he worked very closely with his co-producer, whose name is Paul O'Duffy.
Mm-hmm.
And the drum sound on this is just phenomenal. Yeah. It gives it a driving quality. Now, we come to the songs. So, yeah, Aha, The Living Daylights, and it's fine. It's fine. But it's,
I agree.
It's fine. But this is what you have to talk about.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh my God! Wait a sec. I've never seen that.
This is the 12-inch.
Oh my God! Look
and
at
on
that.
the back, we have the great Chrissie Hynde.
Oh my gosh!
So this is the greatest Bond song that no one knows. So here's the story.
All right.
So she was hired to do the song over the end titles, which was If There Was a Man, which is also, as an instrumental version, is used throughout the score.
Throughout the film, yep.
This has also got one of my absolute favorite Bond girls, Miriam Darbo. She's phenomenal.
Beautiful, yes.
And she's really good in it. And I'm a big fan of Timothy Dalton's Bond. I think he's wonderful.
Agreed.
So he had such a good relationship with Chrissie Hynde recording If There Was a Man, that he then decided for the sequence where Necros, who is the big, tall East German guy who's
Yes,
killing
yes,
off
yes,
everyone.
Yes,
The
yes.
scene where he goes into the country house and
Yep.
pretend kidnaps the guy.
Oh yes. Yep.
On his Walkman,
That's
like
right.
this, is playing this song, but it never gets a full outing in the film.
Interesting.
But he used the thematic material for it throughout the film for all the action sequences with
Yes.
the drum sound.
Gosh,
It
now that you
is-
bring it up,
It's
I'm
a kick-ass. And the song,
unbelievable.
in all honesty, I think it's one of the very best Barry songs. And let me just tell you that if I'm reaching for a Bond song, this is what I reach for.
I gotta
My
find
daughter,
that.
when she was growing up, she would love me to put this on.
No
she
way.
would love to put this on when she was little. She just loved it. The recording is kick-ass.
Wow.
And
I gotta get that.
He lets the brass off the leash.
Wow.
Wah, wah, wah. You know that Bond brass sound?
Oh yeah.
They go nuts. And she shreds it with the guitar. It is phenomenal. We'll come back to Christy Hine in connection with something else. But this is the great, great undersung Bond score. And it was so before.
Wait a minute. Let's do this real quick. Hang on a second.
You're gonna
One
grab.
second.
Are you gonna get the whole soundtrack, or are you gonna get just the single? Oh, there we go. There he goes. And this is what's playing on the Walkman as he goes. So you just get little snatches of it, and I think you get it at one point. A little bit of it without going through as you take the Walkman off, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just underscoring this whole, you see? And it's coming through the speakers, through the little earbuds. But that's all it is. It's used as source music. But then the melody and the drum machine and everything is used through all the big action sequences, especially in the latter part of the film.
Where's the usual man? Flo.
Yeah.
Putting on his English accent.
You can totally hear it. Yeah. Crazy. Wow. Man, if you hadn't brought that up now.
I don't have the UK version. I only have an American, but the American sounds fantastic. But I am curious to hear what the English would.
I gotta get that just because it's the last of the Barry soundtracks,
and I think it's the best one.
Really,
you know, I don't know. It's that OHMSS and You Only Live Twice for me. You know.
Okay. All right.
So that is phenomenal. And then it was actually before La La Land, of all people, Ryko Disc.
No way.
Did a couple of the albums, this one and this one. And then I think it was ported over for the later 2003. But the expanded version, which I'm so hoping La La Land is going to do, it's got a ton of extra music, and it's a great Bond movie. I really think it's one of the best for all kinds of reasons. So so we've got that. Look, before we just get too far into this, let's just quickly honorable mentions going to this. One of the best Bond songs.
Yes.
And it's actually a very decent score.
Yeah.
And again, when this film came out, I wanted to get a record, but I didn't have enough pocket money. So I grabbed my dad, took him to the little country record store, and they had one of those listening booths. And I said, listen to this. Don't you think we should get it?
This would be great, wouldn't it?
Persuade him to part with his money so I could get my copy of that.
Wow.
Yes. And then we have to mention, these two. Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh, yes.
Which again, I think is a really good score. Marvin Hamlish.
Yes.
It's it's using more synthesizers, it's lighter, but it's got one of the very best of the theme songs. Nobody does it better. And I think it was the first song to go to #1.
Yeah.
First Bond song to go to #1. And
sung by the great Carly Simon.
Yes. And it's a fantastic song.
It is. Yes.
And the other thing is, this is a UK original. The sound on this is superb.
Really? Okay.
And I love his variation on the Bond theme. Bond 70. Look, there she is.
Yeah.
The future Mrs. Ringo Starr.
Yep.
Barbara Bach. Here we go.
Look at that. Oh, you're costing me money already.
The Bond 70, but you've got to get the English one. The Bond
Yes.
77 is terrific.
Okay.
But there's a disc. It's not on here, but you can buy a single or go online and listen to it. There's a disco version, which was released as a club 12-inch and became a huge hit.
Yes.
And the other transition score, not Barry, is this one, which again,
yes,
I think is very, very good.
Chanel number 5. She was the model for it. Yep.
This was the first film where you saw the vocalist, Sheena Easton, who had won a sort of a competition on TV of like people sending in their tapes.
Okay.
And she got a record contract, and
Wow.
and then she ended up singing this, and she was the first singer to be featured in the soundtrack. And this is Bill Conti.
Yeah.
And Bill Conti actually came to AFI and gave a talk, and it was very, very interesting. He wrote the music for Rocky. That's why they hired him for this.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings us up to date. So we're now and then a couple of the other Barrys. I'm not keen on Octopussy.
Yeah.
Recording all the score, all the film.
The movie was look, I think kind of parlaying over the film stuff is, Roger Moore was showing his age, and I think it's just synonymous. I think with the way that
A View to a Kill is painful to watch.
Very painful. Yeah, the whole scene at the Eiffel Tower where he's chasing Grace Jones, and I mean he's huffing and puffing every other step.
It's a great, some great sequences, and you've got one of the great villains, Christopher
Yes,
Walken.
of course. Yes.
And the score is fine, but Barry really embraced digital. He was one of the people who first embraced digital. So a lot of these later scores, the sound is not great, but Living Daylights is an exception. It sounds great, and you just crank it. And testify from an 8-year-old who can tell you.
I have to get that. I have to get that.
So where are we going next?
So let's skip into the Pierce Brosnan era, which is
David Arnold.
Yes, probably. My thing with Pierce Brosnan Bond films is a mixed bag. I love Pierce Brosnan as an actor.
He's great.
Phenomenal guy. I think that he syruped it up a little too much, and I think his whole persona just, in my opinion, did not suit James Bond.
And I think his best is GoldenEye.
Yes, without a doubt. Which, of course, sung by Tina Turner.
And has that extraordinary score by Eric Serra.
Okay.
Fully electronic score. Again, a lot of Bond people really frown on that score. Eric Serra, who did a lot of work with Luc Besson, one of my favorite film directors.
Okay. Interesting.
I actually love the Eric Serra score. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's a complete reinvention. I think it works well away from the film. And I think it's a very underrated score. Love it. Yeah. But then the next ones are all David Arnold. And for my money, he is the composer who comes closest to Barry, who really understood Barry. And what he does is he injects techno. With the action sequences.
Yes.
And which, to me, the problem is, it's something that you often find in these movies, action movies, is they make the action sequences in the music too busy. Yes. So it conflicts with the sound effects. Barry was brilliant in that he would score against the action. He would have long flowing lines and chords and stuff like that, with the exception of Living Daylights, but it cuts through so well. With Arnold, I'm absolutely convinced that he was overruled. So a lot of the busyness is just there, and all they do is they fade it down in the mix.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I actually think he is the one who has the best feel. Now, I know you don't entirely agree with that.
To
but
me,
maybe it's partly you don't like the film so much.
look, the films go outside of GoldenEye, and what was the follow-up to GoldenEye?
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Never Dies,
which is where Rupert Murdoch is the uber villain.
So I think Tomorrow Never Dies and GoldenEye I can deal with. The World Is Not Enough and Die Another Day. And of course, I'm reading from by the way, this is an absolutely fantastic
score. This looks wonderful. Can you go full size and show us this properly?
So this is called James Bond 25, of course, culminating in the 25 films released to date.
With the Royal Philharmonic.
Yeah, double LP. It has all the scores. So there's no singing. Beautiful. It's literally just the scores, and of course it has the.
But it's newly recorded though.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So this came out. Gosh, when did this come out? This came out a couple of years ago. 2020. Holy cow!
And is the sound good on it?
It is. It actually is. And again, it's got all the scores, the main scores from each of the 25 films. Beautiful.
I've got to check that out. I've never seen that before. Yeah. I think you mentioned it once before, and
it's look. Okay, is it Decca? Is it no? It isn't, right? But is it? Does it do it justice? Absolutely. I think they did a really fine job, and it's definitely a must-have for anyone. Collecting Bond stuff, you got to get that. It's great.
We can get into some of the cover albums, but again, another little story here is that when I lived actually two stories. One is that I met a Bond girl. She hung out in my bedroom.
Of course.
Back in the 80s. I had a little home studio where I was recording pop songs and things, but then I was also doing demos for other people.
Okay.
And I hooked up with this very interesting pair of characters who, Kit Hesketh-Hardy, who used to do a cabaret act called Kit and the Widow.
Okay.
And he and this other guy called James McConnell were writing a musical based on Virginia Woolf's Orlando. And they came to me to do all the demos.
Yep.
And so this is around 85, and Kit was married to, what was her name, Katie Rabbit or something, and she'd just been in a Bond film. I think it was Living Daylights.
Okay.
But when she came to my place, she was very pregnant. But Kit, if you look him up, Kit Hesketh-Hardy, and I was looking him up today, and I just saw very sad. He died a couple of years ago, but he was a brilliant lyricist. He also appeared in various. I think he made an appearance on Blackadder. A few other things. He was very much in that. In that milieu. I mean, and I moved in that milieu a little bit, and I met. We're currently rewatching Ab Fab, and I dated a girl who sang in an all-girl a cappella group.
No way.
Before any of this, which was run by Emma Freud,
what?
Who was part of the Freud family, and
hilarious.
I went to one of their gigs, and afterwards was a whole group of us hanging out.
Yeah.
And one of the people sitting quietly in the corner was Jennifer Saunders before she did Ab Fab.
Yeah.
Her future husband, whose name is now escaping me, but he was in The Young Ones. Not Rick Mayall, the other one, Adrian Edmondson. He was there. And Emma Freud went on to marry the guy who wrote and directed all those great movies like Love Actually and Notting Hill, whose name is escaping me. But she used to do long after when I left England, she used to do a TV show where she interviewed celebrities in bed.
Interesting.
So there was that whole connection. So it was this whole little milieu of people working in that. But yeah, she'd just been in a James
Wow.
Bond film, and she'd come back from
Wow.
location. There's a scene where she and another girl are like the beautiful girls with the American agent who's contacting with
Yep.
Bond. And I mean, they have a couple of real scenes, and she looked great. But that was fun. Having
Yep.
a Bond girl in my bedroom. Yeah,
Hey.
that was fun. Along
How
with
could
like 20 other people, but
How could you complain? So,
where were we? I'm sorry, I sidetracked.
no,
us again.
it's all good. So we sort of skip forward past Die Another Day, which of course famously sung the title song sung by Madonna.
Okay, here's another one.
Yes, go for it.
What's your opinion of that title song?
So funny enough, I still use it. I have an original pressing. Well, original pressing, I mean, making it sound like it came out yesterday. Came out 99, I think, 98. I still use Die Another Day to evaluate hi-fi components.
I don't blame you.
I'm not kidding. It's a very well recorded song. It's got incredible percussive elements
with all those cutoffs.
Yes.
I actually love it. I think it's a terribly underrated song.
I completely agree. I think it's one of outside of that album that came out in 2003 where she did all the
same
stuff.
She worked with the same producer.
Music. Yes. That's right.
It's a great album. That and Ray of Light are my two favorite Madonna albums.
Agreed. No, Die Another Day is phenomenal from a song
and I love
perspective.
how it's used in the film.
Agreed. The film itself, peak gadgetry, peak nonsense, the disappearing Aston Martin with the reflective mirror.
No, when you go to that.
Yeah.
But it does have, again, one of the great set pieces, which is the fencing match.
Yes. Oh, yes. Of course, with the villain. Yep.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And, the guy who plays the villain is the son of Maggie Smith. And who was she married to? Dame Maggie Smith. And if you look at it again, you'll see how he looks kind of like her. The famous actor she was married to, they met when she did Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. He's a good villain, but there's this whole thing where the guy changes from one thing to another, and and even Bond's accomplice, she's not very good either.
And she,
Halle Berry, who's
Halle Berry, yes,
actress, but
and I remember they were actually seriously considering, because she was a CIA counterpart, a spin-off. Of her character, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Please don't.
No.
Fortunately, they never did.
So a childhood friend of mine who went into the music business, he was working for MGM, so he was on the set for a lot of that film.
Wow.
And he's gone on to be a producer. He's done some really good films. He did the Ridley Scott film about the kidnapping of J. Paul Getty's son. It's a really good film, and they had that whole nightmare where they had to completely recast the ending and reshoot it with Christopher Plummer because of Me Too. I remember that. But he was on this, and he said it was an absolute mess. That production from beginning to end, just a mess.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they unceremoniously dismissed Pierce.
Yeah,
I think the best Pierce Brosnan Bond performance is in a film I rewatched the other day, The Thomas Crown Affair.
Oh, of course. Yes.
And if you've not seen that, that is a sensational film.
I completely agree. By the way,
great score too. Great score.
Yes, I actually have the soundtrack to that.
Oh, yes, I do.
Fantastic.
Great.
On that same trajectory and theme, the one artist, we're kind of skipping around, and I do want to get to...
That's okay.
Yeah, I do want to get to the Roland Shaw Orchestra.
Oh, we're getting to all of this.
Which you turned me on to. But before we get to that, I have the records in my stash back there. I forgot to pull them. The one artist that I feel should have been a contender for a James Bond title song, without
Is
any question, Alison Goldfrapp.
oh yes.
There are two.
And let me just tell you, you know who's a huge fan of Goldfrapp?
Who?
My daughter.
No way.
She turned me on. She turned me on to them. Yeah.
So here's the thing.
That's-
There are two songs. One on her very first album, which I can't think of the name, but the name of the song is called Pilots.
I know that one.
Listen to it. That, close your eyes. That is a James Bond soundtrack, period. The other soundtrack that is a James Bond soundtrack, period, is 3-4 albums ago. It's called Strangers. It's before she got into her whole pop theme and all that.
Mhm.
But Pilots and Strangers, Alison Goldfrapp, she should have been a title singer for a James Bond soundtrack, and she wasn't.
I couldn't agree, and there are some odd choices in the David Arnold era on songs, etc. But I do need to mention this. This is very, very important to mention.
Wait,
when he was somewhere in the middle, these cases, somewhere in the middle of doing all his Bond movies, he did this album of covers called Shaken and Stirred.
Huh.
Oh, this is
really
sensational.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is absolutely sensational. And here's the thing. It's never come out on vinyl. It desperately needs to come out on vinyl. But let me give you a rundown of some of these people. And it's not obvious. Amy Mann doing Nobody Does It Better. Pulp doing All Time High. Chrissie Hynde doing Live and Let Die. Not as good as Guns N' Roses. Iggy Pop doing We Have All the Time in the World.
What? Iggy Pop?
But this is what we have to talk about. We have to talk about, and we're going back to, I've got to try and find it now. Here we go. The killer track on this is
the propeller head.
And here's, okay.
Yes.
So this is their album that it's on, but then it's on the CD, but I had to get the album. And this is, by the way, a fantastic
sensational
album.
Agreed.
But their version of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which channels Space March, and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, brilliant. Unbelievable.
And then that is a thing I put on to assess equipment. To see if it can handle that electric bass and all of it. And the orchestra. There's a full orchestra, techno, the whole 9 yards. It's absolutely sensational.
Agreed.
Do you have this?
I don't. I only have the CD.
Well, the CD is pretty damn great.
Yeah.
You know?
I got to get the record. Yeah, that's amazing.
But this is really a wonderful collection.
I gotta find that.
You can find this, I'm pretty sure.
I pulled it up.
But it's not streaming. Is it streaming? I'm not sure it is streaming.
That I don't know. I just have it in my on eBay. I'm looking at it and it's available. So
and this is where you see how Arnold really gets Barry. And I think, you know, Casino Royale may be his best score. Even though you don't get the Bond theme and everything until right at the end. But that whole film is just perfection.
It is. It is.
So,
and of course, it came after such a long period of lawsuits and the whole MGM and Sony.
Yeah.
James Bond is riddled with lawsuits.
Riddled. Going back to Thunderball and the whole thing of that's why you've got the second Sean Connery film.
Never Say Never Again. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
because one of the writers of the original story sued for years and years and years. And I really don't like the score on that is not great. The film is not great either. But where are we going?
Remake of Thunderball, obviously.
Just to bring it up to date. So of the Craig ones, you've got David Arnold. Then you've got two scored by Thomas Newman, who is one of my favorite composers, full
Yes.
stop.
Uh,
But
by
to
the
me,
way,
it's
Thomas
a bit of a
Newman,
miss.
American Beauty. Oh, killer.
Wally. Wally
Yes.
is a
Yes.
gorgeous score.
Yep.
Gorgeous. Again, one of
Yep.
my daughter's favorites when she was growing up. But I feel that he slightly misses. He's better on the second one, Spectre.
Yeah.
But he slightly misses it. It's
Yeah.
just
Interesting.
so Zimmer gets closer to Barry.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge Zimmer fan, but I think he does a reasonable job. And it's just using "We Have All the Time in the World" all the time like that. That just works really well. So shall we get into other versions of Bond and stuff?
So let's do that.
We're at 2 hours.
I know. Let's.
Anyone still watching?
A couple of people.
Okay.
So you turned me on to Roland Shaw.
Oh yeah.
These incredible Decca.
Or London, UK Londons.
UK London's absolutely bonkers phenomenal. I love that term bonkers. It's one of my favorite
Englishisms.
Yes, that's right. Isms to describe amazing sound. But no, they really are. Of course, Phase 4.
Tell everyone about Decca Phase 4 because these are the only cover versions I think which consistently rival and sometimes better Barry.
Yes.
And there's lots of reasons for that, but let's hear it from your perspective. Danny.
All right. So first and foremost, sonically. So Phase 4 came out in the 70s, and it was, of course, the famous 1-2 knockout punch that Decca came out with as far as a recording technique to capture the whole hall ambience and sound and really create that stunning three-dimensional soundtrack, so to speak. There are great many symphonic Phase 4 recordings.
Yes.
In fact, there are, if you look on Amazon, they did I think it's like the 100 best Phase 4 classical releases that you can get on CD, $70 or some ridiculous low amount. Must have. Absolutely must have. From
which one is it? Is it the collection of the? So they basically did symphonic classical repertoire. They did film music stuff, and then they did easy listening. So which set was it?
So I have all three.
I
have all three sets. They're must have.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Some of the easy listening stuff is schlocky and it's all over the place.
It's
amazing.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's amazing sounding. The symphonic stuff,
it varies, but there's some killer ones in there.
There are. The one that comes to mind is, as a matter of fact, it's The Rite of Spring. I see the cover in front of me. It's a silver cover with blue annotation. And
who's conducting that?
Gosh,
is it Stokowski? Because Stokowski did.
I think it's Stokowski.
Anyone who's into Stokowski needs to investigate his Phase 4 catalog.
Unbelievable. Yeah. You're gonna absolutely be blown away how good it sounds.
There's a Wagner record which is phenomenal.
Yes,
with the purple cover.
Yes, absolutely. So the Phase
the
4
other guilty pleasure. The other guilty pleasure is a series of records classical done by Camerata, and he was like the classical man's Mantovani. So he does these records like Verdi, Puccini, etc. And it's like he adds in all this extra orchestration. Completely inauthentic, irresistible. And we did a Bach one too. Just fabulous. Sorry to cut you off, Danny.
No. And actually we have a comment. Didn't like Phase 4. Again,
it's not purist, it's artificial.
Yes. It's like this bombastic element, and it's just meant to, look, It came out in the 70s. What came out in
And
the
it's
70s?
very much, the whole idea was it was multi-track to the max, but it's very important. Have you listened to the US pressings or the Decca English pressings or the London English pressings? Because the American pressings are shit.
Okay, so these
Very
are
important, and those are readily available in the used bins. And if you don't know to look on the center label and see that it's made in the UK, it's going to sound like shit.
So universally, for the most part, my experience with that was through that CD set that you can get. I do know that, gosh, what was that one Phase 4 that I have that, to your point, sounds dreadful. It's a classical piece. I can't think of the name now. Look, were they all amazing?
No.
There were hit and misses, right?
No.
Just like anything, right? So, but for these guys, unbelievable.
So Roland Shaw was a famous arranger in London at the time, and he did arrangements for the other big guy on Phase 4, who was Stanley Black, who did all the film score records, all of which are essential if you're into film scores. You either get the individual records or there's a really nice box set, but it has longer record sides. So he was an arranger for Stanley Black, and then he started to branch out with his own orchestra, and he did a record of Mexico music and something else, cowboy music.
Okay.
I love all these, but they, as the Bond thing took off, they wanted to do their own version of Bond. And all these records are sensational, and it's not just Bond music, it's other themes as well. Which ones have you got there, Danny?
So, I mean, here is the Ipcris file. There's Peter Gunn. Our man Flint actually is on here.
So this is very interesting. This is one of the later. This came out to capitalize on Diamonds Are Forever.
Yep.
So the new tracks on there.
Mission Impossible.
I remember so vividly buying this as I was how old was I? I was probably 13 or let's see, Diamonds Are Forever. So I was about 11 or 12. And what they did with this one is for some new tracks, the Diamonds Are Forever and the Diamonds Are Forever reprise, but everything else is recycled from earlier records, like this one.
Ah, yes.
Which this one.
I need to find that.
And then some of these earlier ones. This is another early one. You know.
Now I will say again to your point, because I heard that US pressing of the previous one you showed, and it's dreadful.
Of which one?
The first one you showed.
This one?
Yes. No, the one before that. Yeah. It's
this
dreadful.
One. Oh no, this is you've got to get the English version.
Yes, you got to get the English version. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually kind of confusing on Discogs because the thing is they kind of repurpose these tracks and put them in different combinations. You've always got some of these. This one only came out as a London, but only the US pressing. There isn't a UK London of this.
Wow, that's
but
gorgeous.
what's the thing that's on this, which is just killer? Is it on this? No, it's not on the one you've got. Again, it's one of the tracks I put on any stereo equipment is I Spy.
Yes.
Unbelievable. And that's also on a great best of album called The Faithful World of Thrillers. But these are all, this is, if you have a look here, you can see some of the tracks in here. Yeah. It's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But he really, he is a very viable alternative to Barry. And this one, which I love the artwork on this, and you have this.
I do.
What's great about this one at the time was it had all these tracks that, weren't available on the Barry things. Or not easily available, like Teasing the Korean from Goldfinger, Gypsy Camp, Have No Fear, Bond is Here for Casino Royale.
Yep.
He does tracks from Casino Royale and You Only Live Twice, and they're so kitschy because he uses this several a female women's voice heavily reverbed, and it's so kitschy, it's so non-purist, but I absolutely love them.
Yes.
But to get back to this one, the reason you get this, and there is an American version, which is a 2 LP version, and it is a UK pressing, and you get 2 LPs. So this is another way to do this, and you see it's got this. And of course, this is so politically incorrect, because you basically, if you can look carefully, you see they're all targets, and it's numbers for if you shoot with these. It's a very racy color. Could never do it today. This is actually a great, and this one shows up in American stores all the time, but make sure it's the UK cut copy. What is killer on this is the Diamonds Are Forever reprise.
Ooh.
It is, which should be on your copy, Danny. It's absolutely killer. It's the last track on side 2.
Side 2.
And it sort of does a slow introduction, and then the rhythm guitar comes in. Oh, it's so damn funky. And then this was another on their World of, if you want to be a completist for World of the Great Classics, well, their World of, this was always their budget label. But you've got a couple of tracks on here that aren't anywhere else. Pussy Galore's Flying Circus and Underneath the Mango Tree. So if you're a Roland Shaw completist, but they're really, really good. And in some cases, I prefer them to the Barry versions. But I'm so glad you're into them.
I love them. Absolutely love them. I you know, unfortunately, I have yet to see any of these live. At any record store.
You kind of have to apart from that double LP version, which is actually a good way to go, because I think the double LP version does it have I Spy on it? Yes, it has I Spy. That's actually a great way to go. You will find this in good condition, the UK version, for about $10. You know, it's a store that knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
and it's got thicker card and everything. It's really nice. Should we talk about the John Barry cover albums, because where he covers his own stuff?
Go for it. I don't think I have any of those. Wait a minute.
You may not. So
I don't think I do.
Pay close attention. Some of these are very worth getting. So Barry was not going to make that much money off the original soundtracks. So what he did, he started doing his own albums with his own pickup band, and he did all these studio albums of a range of music, including some Bond stuff. And some of these versions are better than others. This is an obvious one to get. This is the Speaker's Corner reissue. And it sounds wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I don't think I have an original of this, but a lot of these recordings figure on other records of his that I have. But this Speaker's Corner version is well worth getting. And you've got Thunderball 007. 007 was his action cue the alternative action cue he wrote for From Russia with Love, and kept showing up in movies until Moonraker, and then he retired it. Goldfinger, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Russia with Love, James Bond theme, and then side 2, wonderful stuff. The Chase, that's the film with Marlon Brando, theme from King Rat, The Knack, Seance on a Wet Afternoon, The Icarus File, one of his classics, theme from Born Free. This, if it's still in print, I think it might still be. The other one, this was my first John Barry record, and this, I love this. This is a UK.
Oh yes, the Persuaders.
And this is how you get the Persuaders, which I think is just one of his very best.
It is. Yes.
Themes. He started doing a lot for television, and he'd use the Moog. So he did this.
Midnight Cowboy is on there.
Yeah. This is a great record, and I have. This is the English pressing, and a lot of these tracks are recycled on other stuff I'm about to show you. But this, if you can find this, the UK, it's really, really wonderful. It's got things like, Vendetta, which people don't know, but it's a wonderful thing. I had a little sort of pseudo jazz little group when I was 12, and we would do that. We did that at the school concert one year.
Funny.
Then he did there are a bunch of others which are going to show up, and I'm just going to quickly show them, and you get an idea of what's out there. It's all of these are re-recordings. Some of them are taken. I don't think they're taken from a film site. Here's another one.
Oh, interesting. Look at
this
that.
Is a double LP.
Wow.
With tons of good stuff.
Huh.
This is a really beautiful one, because this has his theme from Romance for Guitar and Orchestra, which was one of his more classical related pieces.
Yep.
And it's got some other unusual tracks. And this is a really nice record.
Yep.
And again, you're going to find it for not very much money. You see, there we go. CBS.
Oh, yeah. Yep. CBS.
Some of these, here's one of his ones on RAM. And again, this is not all Bond. There's no Bond on this.
Look at that.
But you've got Orson Welles' Great Mysteries.
Yep.
This is one of his later concert ones.
Oh, interesting.
With the Royal Philharmonic.
Wow.
And again, he reworks it for a big orchestra. Now, I have to mention, on CD, he did 2 albums with the Royal Philharmonic later in life. This is when he went to a much more symphonic, slower, more lush mode, the mode we associated with his Oscar-winning films like Dances with Wolves, and then there's Chaplin, and what's the other one? Anyway, you know what I mean. Yeah. But
Out of Africa.
This is sensational.
Wow.
And this is a stunning recording, engineered by Sean Murphy.
Okay.
And we just at the LA Audiophile Society, which Danny, I'm sure you know all about.
Yep.
Michael Framer gave Sean Murphy's recording of the Shostakovich Piano Concertos Record of the Year.
Wow.
With Yuja Wang. And then also he did the whole Shostakovich cycle in Boston Symphony. I reviewed it and I gave it an 11/11.
Wow.
I think, or 10/10 or whatever.
Wow.
And then he also did the Shostakovich cello concertos, and that won a Grammy.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest sound engineers. He worked with John Barry, John Williams. I'm actually having dinner with him next week because he's in town working on the new Steven Spielberg movie. He works with John Williams.
Yeah. Wow.
Ton of John Williams.
Wow.
This is sensational.
Really? Okay.
Don't bother with the vinyl. Hard to find, and it's very ticky.
Yeah.
But then he did a second volume in a different location.
Yeah.
This is all action. Don't get this. It's horrible.
Okay.
The arrangements and sound are not good.
Yeah.
And then here is a John Barry record, which again, Danny, you're going to want to go out and buy. No one knows this record. This is not film music or anything.
All right.
This is one of his records done specifically just as a record.
John Barry.
The Americans.
I've never seen that.
The sound, but it does show up in the bins. I picked it up at Record Surplus.
Wow.
And it's just a regular American pressing.
Yeah. Stunning.
The sound on this is stunning.
Wow.
The music is stunning. It's kind of like jazz combo, whatever.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And then finally, oh my God. Simply Vinyl. Down. Simply Vinyl did 2 very nice collections. They're both sourced from digital, but they're really, really nice.
Yes. Yeah.
This is mainly earlier.
I think I have that one. Yeah.
This is mainly earlier stuff.
Yep.
And then this is a lot of the film stuff.
Yes.
This is on CD as well. That other one might be on CD too.
Yeah.
These UK pressings.
Yeah.
Really good. Not quite as having that thing of the original UK that I have, but very, very good. Going into other cover versions, I'm really racing through here. This is if you're into this kind of music, let's just stick with the covers first. The other great series of Bond covers was done by a member of the Wrecking Crew, who, the Wrecking Crew were the great famous LA studio people who basically created the sound of the Beach Boys and many other bands. Boots Are Made for Walking. They're the backing band on that.
Yep.
Tons
Wow.
of stuff.
Wow.
So Billy Strange.
Huh.
And he did a whole series of, and these show up in the bins all the time. Pretty beaten up.
Oh,
He did
look
a
at
whole
that.
series of
Wow.
albums.
Wow.
Here's one of them.
Interesting.
Here's another.
Never seen those. Wow.
And then this is a nice collection where you get more of the tracks and some stuff done by, this is
Wow, look at that.
on,
Huh.
this is on, what's that, GNP Crescendo, a real sleeper label.
Yeah.
And it's got other non-Bond stuff done by other people, like Neil Norman did a whole series, you probably know those, did a whole series of records for this label. This is a really nice collection, and it gives whole stuff. And then I'm charging through here, man. I'm charging through. Hang on a sec. I can get these out of the way as everything falls on the ground.
Brilliant.
This is a really nice. This came out on CD and vinyl. If you're into Bond, you then want to explore other stuff of the era. And this is a wonderful. There's a volume 1 and there's a volume 2.
Sounding it.
This is just great.
Never seen that before. Lots of
notes.
Never
and it's everything. You've got the Persuaders on here, but you've got a lot of this English stuff. You've got Pentangle, Jeff Love and his orchestra, Roy Budd. And we should mention Roy Budd. And then I want to mention now, if you want to get as close to the true Bond sound and feel in a modern score, this is it. This is a sensational score.
Okay.
Do you know this, Danny?
Oh, yes. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., of course. Fantastic.
Daniel Pemberton. They recorded at Abbey Road.
Yes.
They dug out all the old microphones and everything.
Yep. Completely agree.
Brilliant. It's also on CD.
Yes.
This is
fantastic.
Absolutely sensational. You have this, do you?
Yes, I have the CD. I don't have the LP. I always felt that I cannot believe they did not follow up The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with sequels. I thought the movie itself was great.
Oh, you did? I didn't like the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, look, for modern contemporary spy stuff, set back in the day. Oh, look at that.
That's another Roy Budd. They've all come out on CD, but I've not seen the one that you've got. He's terrific, and it's this quintessential 70s thing. And the other one, very quickly, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to get these in when I even remember them. ITC was a production company that did a lot of these shows, and this is a wonderful collection of their sort of scores and library.
Yeah,
a lot of this is library music, etc.
Yeah, brilliant.
We already talked about Mission Impossible, and here's another cut. This is a very nice, unusual selection of alternative spy versions.
Love it. Oh my gosh.
This is readily available. So you've got some John Barry, but you've got like Al Caiola doing Secret Agent Man, Nancy Sinatra doing The Last of the Secret Agents. You've got Mission Impossible, Armand Flint, but done by Billy Strange. This is a lovely compilation.
Interesting.
Another film that I've got 2 more, and then I'm done. Another film. This is not Secret Agent as such.
Okay.
But it's got such a great feel, and it's a great score and a wonderful opening song. This is CQ.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting film done by Roman Coppola.
Never seen that.
Coppola's son. It's a very interesting film, totally steeped in the 60s design and everything. It's about making a film and everything goes wrong, and then life becomes reality. This gorgeous score, mellow, French band did it. So it's got that French 60s vibe. And then just one more This is it. One more reference to Space March.
Okay.
This is a beautiful, beautiful compilation called Pop Fiction.
Interesting.
And this is all sort of modern spins on the spy thing. So you've got Portishead,
Wow.
Strange Cargo, which is William Orbit, Alex Reese, but the Barry Adamson, who's great. You probably know him. But the track that channels Barry is Grumpy, Timber, and you can find it on YouTube. But he quotes the Space March, and it's a really beautiful ambient techno track. It's great. I'm done. I got it all in.
we're 2 hours and 30 minutes into our show.
So I kind of cut you off right at the end, though.
No, it's all good.
So what were you gonna say, if you can remember after all that?
Good point. What was I going to say? I don't remember anymore. No, I mean, here's the thing. James Bond and all the spin-offs and all of the derivatives, the spoofs, the remakes that even though they were not obviously called James Bond, you could clearly see the influence. I mean, we can spend hours and hours and hours talking about it. It's so iconic. You mentioned earlier the Wrecking Crew. When you mentioned the Wrecking Crew, the first thing I thought of was Dean Martin, the Wrecking Crew, where he played Matt Helm, right?
Yes,
by the way, great.
Who
I have
did the score for that? I'm trying. Is that Jerry Goldsmith again, or is it someone else?
I don't remember. I have all 4 of them on vinyl, and they're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So, I think James Bond is so damn iconic. Going back to wrap it up with what La La Land has done, such an incredible job. I truly hope that they get to do the rest of the catalog.
I hope so.
And do it on vinyl. I would love for them to do Columbo. That's been on my want list and wish lists I'm a huge Columbo fan. Huge Columbo.
It's a great show.
It is.
I used to watch that in England growing up.
Yeah. And then, of course, if they were to reprint the Mission Impossible stuff, I would be the first in line to get it. But hats off to the team over there. Mike has done such a splendid job. Mark, you've just been absolutely fantastic. I love reading all your stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Your reviews are so epic, man.
Oh, thanks.
No, it is. I mean, come on. It's true. It's I have to check out that second site that you mentioned that you started writing for.
Yeah, Groovy Music Club.
Groovy Music Club. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll drop a comment.
It's very new. It's
okay.
It's much more just purely music orientated for music and sound.
Yeah.
But it's I get to write about stuff I wouldn't write about in Tracking Angle. And
That's
other
awesome.
people too.
Yeah.
And we're trying to cover some new music because like for the young people. We've got young writers. Which
is important.
Yeah. But I just think it needs to be said again that I just don't think people always talk about the Beatles changing popular music.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think you have to give equal weight to John Barry and Bond. I just think he created a sound that infused the whole culture.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to a lot of his stuff, these pop songs, but Bacharach, all these people, I just don't think any of that would have happened the way it would have happened without Barry.
Agreed.
I mean, and also the thing is the simplicity.
Yeah,
there's it's the simplicity that masks sophistication. He does these simple gestures, but it resonates outwards. Even when he moves into the more symphonic Bond scores, and it's just got that feel.
Yeah,
and but yeah, I just don't think you know, in a way, I think he's more influential than the Beatles, in a way, in the same way that I think the Kraftwerk is more influential than the Beatles in a certain way. I just think, and it comes to Bond, and it's this complete marriage of the feel, the image of Bond, a whole way of thinking about the world and entertainment and all of that. And it's nowhere without the music. The music is, I think, more than 50% of it.
Oh, absolutely. Completely agree. And it's just mirrored by my experience of, again, the you know, listening to these scores and soundtracks and songs and just evoking that memory that comes to mind.
Oh, so much.
And each of the scenes, and you know, I think you mentioned it at some point during one of your reviews, how, you know, he really, John Barry, that is, managed to influence the scenes and the cinematography of these movies in a way that, to your point, again, it just elevated it all to a whole new level, right?
I really do think that. I think it took it from, if you look at Dr. No, and imagine taking the James Bond theme out of it.
Yeah, it's just another movie. Yeah,
it's just another movie. But that theme, and then as he evolves it in next several, and I think it's, and I think you could talk about Ken Adams' production design and Peter Hunt's editing. Each of those was such an integral element about creating modern popular film. But Ken Adam, the feel of those sets in Moonraker, one of my favorite cues is the one where he's in the jungle and then this girl appears and they just lead him to the pyramid and into those sets, and you've got the choir, and it's just like, you know how a regular composer would score that today, it would be nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I think, you know, ironically, Hans Zimmer scoring No Time to Die, it sort of reminds me of when Interstellar came out, and the mystery. So the movie was announced with the title, and as I recall, it was literally just a blurb of, a space, something to do with space, but they weren't really open about what it was really about. And then you started hearing all the blurbs that, Zimmer was instrumental in scoring the film, and the score really being part of the film.
Very definitely. But I think he may even have written some of it ahead of time. And
correct. Yes. Yep. And so that, to me, is John Barry and James Bond.
Well, he actually, with Moonraker, he wanted to write the score first and have them.
Really?
Yes. He wanted to do that, but it never happened. I talk about it in the article, but he'd done it on one other film. It's very rare for that to happen. End of E.T., Close Encounters, a few other things. But it's rare. But I think the other thing to mention with Barry is, and in this, I think he's somewhat similar to Herman in that he's very good at creating these gorgeous melodies and melodic fragments. And they're earworms. I don't know about you. I walk around hearing bits of John Barry, not just Bond, but other stuff. It just goes round and round in my head. I have the same thing with Herman. With Vertigo and Psycho. And we should mention Phase 4. Those are famous audiophile albums, the Bernard Herrmann recordings.
Absolutely.
But I mean, Barry is extraordinary, and then you get into those later films. I mean, things like Chaplin, Dances with Wolves, gorgeously recorded by Out of Africa. That was the other one. I mean, that film would be nowhere without his score. nowhere.
Yeah.
Sean Murphy, again, a couple of those he engineered. He's one of the greatest engineers of our time. I put him in the realm of Kenneth Wilkinson and people like that. But yeah, I mean, and that Barry sound, it's unmistakable. And, you know, you avoided at your peril doing these movies. So I don't know if when they revamp Bond, I think the only way they get away from it, actually, in a way, is to do it as a period piece and do it somehow differently.
Yeah.
I would not like to be in the shoes of those guys having to do that. So we should 2 hours and 40 minutes of us gabbing on.
I can't wait to see what the reaction to this stream is going to be in the next couple of weeks as people start watching it. You know, look, we definitely need to do these more often.
Well, yeah. Send me a martini.
Yes.
How are you doing on your martinis? How much is left? Is it all gone?
It's all gone.
Oh my God.
Well,
I went hunting for our martini glasses and I couldn't find them. I know where they are, but they're buried in a box somewhere.
Next time. Hey, maybe we'll get the La La Land crew on.
And let me just advertise, this shirt I'm wearing is from the wonderful Cinematheque here in LA. And they do a season of 70mm screenings now. Very popular. And I got the shirt. I went to a screening of The Wild Bunch in 70mm. And just fantastic. And if you live in LA, apparently Neil told me that what used to be the ArcLight in Culver City, it's now called the Culver, I think, they do screenings of vintage Bond every month or something. And he just went and gave a talk at one of them. So yeah, if you're interested, just sign up for their mailing list and find that. Yeah, I now that I know about it, I'm going to try and go. But yeah, we really need to tip the hat to La La Land doing this. This is absolutely fantastic. Not just for Barry scores, but everything.
All the soundtrack. Yes. Like I said, I've got about 40 of them, and universally, they're fantastic. Hunt for Red October comes to mind. Look
out for that Harry Potter box. I don't know if it's still in print.
All right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Mark, it's been so much fun. I can't believe we're yakking on for almost 3 hours now. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for joining. And we will catch you guys all on the flip side.
Yeah, absolutely. And peace, love, 007, and Bond will return.
Wait a minute.
I really hope.
Yes. Wait a minute. Hang on. Shit. Wait a minute.
I love how you can do this.
Hang on. Wait. You gave me a great idea.
Oh my God. Well, I just want everyone to notice that actually Danny's also channeling he's actually channeling a Bond villain. He's channeling Christopher Walken in
yes,
with the blonde hair.
Yes, A View to a Kill. Max Zorin.
Yeah, you're channeling the hair.
Wait a minute. Wait. Here we go.
Oh. Oh my God. Are we going to get taken down for this? Here we go. There's actually a great compilation of all the gun barrel sequences on YouTube.
So iconic. Iconic.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Mark, it's been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for tuning in, and please like and subscribe. Check out Mark's
great channel. Music on Record is my channel, and then Tracking Angle.
Absolutely.
And check out Danny's new live streams. It's a fantastic thing you're doing.
Thank you very much. I actually think I'm going to start theming it, and sort of leading up to our conversation about Bond, I thought I'm going to make it all about Bond in one of these streams.
Oh, I think so. You've got plenty of material to work with.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
Should be fun. Thank you all.
Cheers.
Ciao.